why they have a lot of single target CC when you think about Brawn passive, Ashe, Arrow, the Ivern Q, all sorts of tools to be able to lock down a single target. I will also say that their composition loves it when the enemy runs into them.
Played and Yike at 150 to 200 ahead of their opponents. Yike's now pathing down towards the bot side. Could look for a dive on the Antonio, who's about a quarter of the way to that level 6.
And this is the play I was talking about. As soon as you show up towards that top side, they look for the dive, and now you're going to start to fall behind.
Ignar's making his way down here, but not going to be there too quickly. The wave arriving means that Mickey can't hit a Winter's Bite. Now gets the first stack of those concussive blows, staggering blows in fact, as they'll lose a plate. But with the minion wave dying off, the Antonio should be fine underneath the turret for now.
He's completely fine. Crope's secured, resets come through. Notice Ignar's now made his way back to bot, which makes the dive much harder, the level 6 as well. Yeah, I mean, oh, Hans.
Caps in the mid lane, Lightning Crash coming out. Caps does still have the flash to try and avoid this, puts down the Mom to try and call for a little bit of aid. Jackie's flash away, the level up! Just in time there for Jackie's, gets him over to level 7. Both the mid laners flashless now as Yike comes to help out Caps. True Shot Barrage going wide.
That was a tense moment. Now the Antonio looking for a fight.
Mickey stunned into the wall, has the flash, puts the Ignite down onto the Antonio, who flashes away, as does Ignar. There's the first bit of CC, and Ignar is going to pay for Antonio's dive in with his life, and the Antonio might be soon to follow. G2 find their first kill and the first kill of the game.
I just want to confirm, the Antonio picked that fight, right? Yep. He was like, we're going in. Yeah, that was not the best of decisions, and now he's all on his lonesome in this bottom side.
And no TP to help verdict. Is it enough? Can he helicopter his way out of this one? The answer is an emphatic no. For the moment, no fighting occurring. Only those 2 kills in the bottom lane for G2. The Drake secured as well by Yike. GiantX.
And then they secure the objective. So,
yep, it's just Camo there hitting onto Ignar. TP in as GiantX are looking to dive a Cassante. Now, he does have the Crossfire Gauntlet and a Redemption, and even with the Nature's Grasp, I'm not sure he dies here. Gets the knockback, Ignar has to jump away. Yeah, okay, GiantX, this was bloody awful. This was diabolical. GiantX went for the dive, and all they're gonna do is die. Cass has so much free time in the top lane. The Lightning Crash coming out, Magnet Sword from Ignar as well, but Broken Blade has already found 2 out of the fight. They're gonna make it 3. It's a disaster for GiantX, and G2 happily eat up their rewards. Ignar trying to get away, but Hans Summer's here on the chase. Ignar has a flash, but I don't think he escapes from that. 6-0 for G2.
So mid-game macro is at a very high level, and so they'll punish you for your poor lane assignments, and they're going to prove that right now by securing
Makes sense to be quite aggressive as the support. G2 are taking all the tier 1s. There's a Drake for them if they want it. Infernal.
Or did G2 let it go?
There's the TP behind. Daisy coming out as well as G2 want to take the fight. Keeper's verdict hits onto Yike, forces him away. Mickey puts down the Unbreakable. Redemption coming out as well as Broken Blade dives onto the backline. The Drake secured by Juhan. Hans trying to force Jackie's away and manages to do so. Caps now opening up as the dive comes back in from the Antonio, but he'll fall first. Juhan's got 1 ward behind him, and I don't think Jackie's knows. As you can see, the Antonio Ignar struggling in terms of gold. Hans Summer has the Redemption, the TP coming in as well by GiantX, but the Antonio, I'm sorry mate, I'm not sure this is where you want to be today. The rest of his team are trying to collapse, but there's the 2 tanks on their way, and immediately they decide not to join him in dying. There's 2 quick kills to G2.
Unfortunately, a symptom of a pervasive problem that we've continued to see of GiantX is Jackie's getting caught in a side lane. It's happened multiple times in summer splits, an issue that we were hoping coming into season finals he was able to rectify, but when he finds himself at a deficit, he tries his best to get those resources, to funnel that farm back into himself, but he leaves himself exposed, and G2's a team that will not allow that to go unpunished. They find themselves a kill, they punish the TP from the Antonio, they get another tower, they're going to try and convert it into another one. And I mean, this game was already out of control, but it's going from bad to worse as G2 extend to a 10k gold.
Jackie's going to TP in. Forward across the wall. Hans Summer still on the Baron right now. They jump in with the root caller. Immediately they dive onto Juhan. He's pulled back. And in the middle of the position, no smite for GiantX. Keeper's verdict only hits onto the support. Patrick kept at bay by Daisy. Magnet Storm forward. Maybe Broken Blade will fall, but the Trigger C will keep him alive for just a second. Jackie's diving in, trying to take down Hans Summer. He flashes and is met with an arrow to the face. The Antonio chased out by Caps. Patrick, the last man standing.
Fight. and they, of all the characters to catch, they catch out the enemy jungle, making them...
They have a 14,000 gold lead, but no melee minions, so they can't step any closer to this tower yet. It's the small things. You got to find those tiny bits of hope for GiantX, but the next wave is now about to arrive. Control ward in the bush. As GiantX decide, it seems to not engage as G2 push up towards that turret range. The inhibitor, the next target. What are remaining champions? Antonio brings out the Poppycopter, knocks back two, they'll go for Yike. The Magnet Storm engage into Nature's Grasp, and Yike will fall first. TP behind by Broken Blade, but the rest of G2 are a mile away. Can Broken Blade survive for a year? Yes, he can. Of course he can. He's Kazante. What am I talking about? He could survive on the fountain. For all it's worth right now, GiantX go 1-for-1 in the trade in the end. G2 can still push forward. Hansama no flash. Patrick trying to put the damage down across the side, but can't find too much more.
TP flank coming in from the Antonio.
The inhibitor tower is going to be down before he can arrive to the battle. He'll look for Caps, he'll knock him back. Broken Blade goes in, lightning crash from Jackie's. Is it enough? The Antonio already down. Juhan short to follow him. It's a quick trip to an early grave for GiantX, and with the arrow connecting, it might be all done for G2. Only two Nexus towers stand in their way, Jackie's and Ignat. It would be a Herculean performance to pull this one off, but so far you'd be more like Sisyphus, constantly trying to make the plays, but that boulder keeps rolling back down in your face. G2 will close it out. Jackie's and Ignat forced back to the fountain. Jackie's doesn't even find solace there. 18 kills to 2, 26 minutes on the clock, 17,000 gold ahead. I think G2 may be angry today.
It's a great example of being able to exploit them. A strong side lane threat that no one can really match, because you look at GiantX's composition and you say, who can go against Yone when he's at 3 items in a side lane, right? And it's a win condition that
For G2, they would have liked to kind of build that timing window where they had 10 minutes, say, before they really had to fight at the dragon and could trade for turrets. He's going to be able to steal these away as well. So nice set up here for G2 in the early stages of the game.
Mom spaghetti.
I was like, how long are those two going to keep just saying Eminem lyrics?
At least mine was game relevant originally. Also, yeah, you're the rapper amongst us, Betty. I've had your Christmas gifts, they're very well wrapped.
It's almost as good as my Gwen joke from yesterday.
Oh, true.
Caps in some trouble.
Yeah, Duran's there, lands the stun, doesn't quite get the passive down, but Caps, even with a flash, dodges the Mystic Shot, is able to just survive. Yike coming in from the side as well. I'm not sure he wants much more of this. He does manage to land onto Jackie's, who still has a flash. Yike now hits the level 6 off the minions, but he's gonna die to the Pyroclasm. Juhan,
which is have Mickey reset very early and try and get him out onto the map first, but it does leave Hansama vulnerable at times with Patrick.
has to use the cleanse.
Nasty trade there. Patrick really couldn't do much about it.
Yeah, Patrick's dead. He's got the flash, but Mickey will knock him into the wall, and then with a hail of blades and a hammer shot combo. Broken Blade has the ability to jump in. There's the arrow. Oh, just in the gap. Nature's Grass coming out as well. Ignat tanks it up for the moment. Jackie's putting some damage down, but Broken Blade dives in, and Ignat almost dies. Yike flashes for him, can't quite get him. Mickey down to half HP as well. Yike going back in with a twisted advance, but he's been abandoned by the rest of G2, and the flash forward was a flash.
Ignat, he just tanks so much, and he's able to get away, and then Yike flashes after him, at the very least trying to get that kill. But now G2 kind of run out of juice. They have nothing left to follow up with the rest of the fight, which means the GiantX is actually able to turn it around, get a kill, and deny the Grubs disconnected. Either way, I think in that fight specifically, that wasn't entirely his fault to his matchup as well.
I think the first item being complete across the board is a good setup for G2 here.
They look for the engage, the arrow going down as well, and Juhan is locked up and doesn't have a moment to breathe before he dies. Ignat will follow suit.
Flash from Mickey.
Jackie's can buffer the arcane shift away. The Antonio, is his fate sealed here? I don't quite think so. Broken Blade will dash back to the Soul Unbound.
Good timing window from G2 to punish as they're going to look for Jackie's again. Knock
Jackie
up,
still has
can't get to the
flash
wall.
here. Arcane shifts away. Mickey falls first. Flash away, but Caps is there for the chase. A final couple of autos will put Jackie's in his place. G2 playing all over the map as Broken Blade continues to dive the Antonio on the bottom side. The Rift held secured as well. The Antonio trying to flash away. Broken Blade snaps.
He does try to go for it on this, but Hans should, there you go, just finish off the tower.
Yeah, a couple of minutes ago.
Because Yone completely owns top lane. He doesn't just own top lane, like, you have to pay rent to even visit top lane. Like, It's crazy how much agency this unit gives in this matchup, and it all comes back to what the AD was talking about, what we've talked about for GiantX. Just because you don't have those playmaking tools.
But I think that's what GX are trying to do now with the playmakers.
Storm immediately onto Mickey. He tries to jump back in, but GiantX, for a second there, I think was debating whether he takes the Rift Herald out, tries to charge away. Juhan is closing in on him. Mortal Steel is going to boot a little bit of damage as Juhan falls to half HP. Broken Blade dashing in, but he can't land the Q3. Juhan down to about 250 HP. Call of the Forge God coming out. Broken Blade will step to the side of it, but they still manage to lock him down for a second. The True Shot Barrage coming out as well. In the end, Broken Blade falls to the blaze. Juhan takes him, but Mickey, Flash Ignite, and a buckler to the back is enough to kill the brand.
I love that GiantX are trying to force these plays on the map. They get a good pick onto Mickey.
They have had vision of it being started, even though G2 have tried to be sneaky around it, and now with the TP coming in, the Antonio has the Call of the Forge God. Jackie's is yeeted the hell out of there. Call of the Forge God lands a double man knock up. But the Baron's already secured, and GiantX can't find the engage. No flash on Ignar makes it very tricky for them to get in. They go back in, flash forward by Yike, but immediately he dies. Broken Blade, can he steal some baits here?
We'll get another dragon for themselves.
Sole point for GiantX, whether they can survive 5 minutes further to get towards that Ocean Soul, and whether they'll be in a position to fight it at that time still remains a question. Hans Summer flashing forward underneath the turret. Juhan caught out down towards the bottom side as well. G2 find 2 more, and now GiantX with a numbers disadvantage on this Baron push. The wave shoving in, Broken Blade trying to dodge away with the Magnet Storm coming in. The True Shot Barrage has connected as well. Broken Blade dashes back in. The bait sealed on Jackie won't give him enough of a shield to get the kill in response. Broken Blade dies. G2 will take a tier 3 in mid and a tier 3 in bot.
GiantX doing what they can to get something back, a foothold into this game, but G2 will not give them a moment's breath. They secure the mid inhibitor, they set their sights on the bot one, but they don't want to overstay their way. Welcome, Ignar and Antonio are here. Your ultimate.
And he's the one with TP, so he's the one who'll be resigned to playing PvE for the moment. Inhibitor tower in the top lane falling, a 10,000 gold lead for G2. Cleanse away from Hans Summer to get away from the slow, and it does enough. And as Mickey stepping forward, Call of the Forge God not available for the Antonio, but the Magnet Storm is for Ignar. Keeper's Verdict out by Mickey. The Inhibitor tower falls, G2 start to retreat. Jackie's unable to join.
More.
Double supers in the top lane. Be joined by their comrades in mid. TP away from the Antonio. Realized as he was going to be collapsed on. Keeper's Verdict coming out. Nature's Grasp hits one. Juhan able to dodge away from it. And Mickey's already down to 200 HP. The Call of the Forge God hits the backline. Pyroclasm there to follow it up. And Hans Summer might die, and in the blaze he does. The dive in from Broken Blade won't be enough to keep GiantX at bay. The Antonio face plants the wall. And GiantX will get 1 kill. They still have to try and delay the game. The Nexus Tower is the target of these minions. One has already fallen. G2 can continue to push up. Mickey doesn't have a Warmog, so won't heal up on this Poppy. The GiantX hold on to hope in the game.
The Soul in 3 seconds as well. I don't know how quickly they can deal with these creeps and get out. You have a TP from Jackie's, none for the Antonio, so looks like it won't be the case. G2 will be able to at least get the Dragon on the way back out, but yes, you get a kill, but you're already losing in Nexus turrets as well. It's still kind of G2 slowly closing this game.
It does mean that you don't really have any control over the map, making it hard to contest this objective.
Nice attempt from Jackie's.
Respawned. Patrick stepping quite far forward here. Broken Blade having that fate sealed. It's a little bit precarious of a situation to be in. GiantX trying to clear out the wave. There's the Call of the Forge God from behind. The Antonio found the flank. They get onto Caps and they'll shut him down. Mickey the next target for Patrick, and on the backline, the stopwatch will stop the face seal from coming out. Bullet timing invested by Patrick, but Hans Summer's already killed off the brand. Patrick starts to open up, and he's got a 2-level disadvantage, and a big disadvantage when it comes to HP as well. It looked hopeful for a second for GiantX, but G2 will wipe them away. You can take Caps, but you cannot take the win. 2-0, G2.
Confident play from G2 once more.
I love these drafts where you just have no idea what's going on as analysts. It's so fun sometimes you sit there and know that there's a meta where you can predict anything right. But in situations like this, we just have no idea what's going to happen. It's
Flash Q from Mickey, so Yike now looking to maybe make that play mid.
Going to jump onto Patrick first though. Shattering Strike for the stun. He'll be okay. Underneath the tower, as you say in the mid lane, Jackie's is dead. Pretty much. There we are. The final order from Caps is enough.
Caps is going to be great. Get that little bit of an advantage with the Vamp Scepter so you can trade heavily, but Yike now finds the Antonio. 6 for Rumble.
Yeah, Antonio has the equalizer, as you say, but Broken Blade pretty tanky already, and the equalizer does not live up to its name here. Broken Blade able to tank it up, and G2 get their second on the board.
G2 again are doing a great job of running this early game. Yike gets the play in mid, he knows he's got pushed, so he starts to move across here, and Broken Blade, they just solo out the Antonio to set up for the play. Now again, Ignar trying to cover mid, but Mickey's is also here.
That camp's coming in. Ignite and Antonio struggled a little bit in this lane. Obviously, there's been a tension from Yike, but also the fact he won his way down towards bot means that G2 are looking to contest this, but it's 2-2 so far, and GiantX have the man advantage, the numbers advantage. Caps TPing back in. G2 could take a fight, but they'd be undermanned because Hans Summer is still working his way down towards bot. Second Void Grub for GiantX off this play. They'll secure it. 3-2 so far. Will they look for one more? Hans is showing in bot lane. The Antonio just based, but does have the TP if he wants to rejoin the fight. GiantX will get their fourth grub. 4-2 in the end. TP in by Broken Blade. The Antonio does have a flash, the equalizer coming out, but he's torn it up, and Hans Summer and Broken Blade will melt him down. No escape for the Rumble. Hans Summer.
G2 and Mickey can move into the bot side river, start threatening this mid tower, maybe even convert that pressure into a dragon. Instead, they might just go for a fight.
Forward with the quickness, with the charm. Redemption comes out. Caps able to jump across the side. Knocks back Jackie's with the buster shot. Caps is so low. The trigger seed saving him for a second. The Magnus Storm coming out from Mickey as well. But Jackie's has already found the first kill. Juhan falling low. Mickey being opened up on. He'll flash across the wall, but Patrick will chase him with a flash of his own. Hans Summer sliding in like Tony Hawk across the wall. Yikes, surviving with 30 HP. And now Patrick's on the wrong side of the rift. Daisy going to chase him out. And it looks like he's going to sacrifice himself to the tower. Not sure if anyone's hit him recently. Don't think it will be an execute. In the end, it will be Yike picking up the kill because, of course, Daisy got that auto.
GiantX to find that opportunity.
Yeah, GiantX trying to say, hey, look, G2 going to look for that side lane play. So
Caps, after taking mid, will work his way down towards the bottom side. Broken Blade can shadow him, does have that hero's entrance. Tower falls in top. Caps jumps onto the Antonio, and I'm not sure the Antonio has a way out of this one. Caps cleans him up for his second kill of the game, 7-2 now.
Zero towers up in the early game.
Hans going to get rooted, cleanses. Juhan underneath the tower, lightning crash. Hans needs a hero, and here comes Broken Blade, but Hans Summer is a mile away. The redemption coming out, Jackie's falling low. Mickey there with the Magnus Storm, and Hans Summer able to escape. Juhan going to start to retreat because he knows his team's days are numbered. G2 collapse, they'll take Patrick, they'll take Jackie's, the Antonio's already dead, and Caps is still pushing bots.
G2 brought a literal Goliath to the fight, and it works out beautifully for them. Hans Summer able to just barely escape, and they didn't even need Caps for it. He was just pushing in this bot side the entire time with Rift Herald in tow. This is looking very G2 favored once more.
GiantX are trying to get scrappy with G2, and things just are not panning out the way that they want. Every single fight, it's going to be another pick here, I think. Do they have the damage?
It's going to be Jackie's joining the fight, but Juhan's already down to about 200 HP. Ignite here for a bit of shielding. Dance is in with the battle dance. Broken Blade falling low, will fall to Jackie's first. And now Mickey needs to try and get the hell out of dodge. The trigger seed on him buys him a second, but it's not going to buy enough. 2 over to Jackie's. The Antonio now collapsing on Hans Summer, and I'm not sure he wins out this fight. Hans Summer doesn't have the flash, but can just dash across the wall to the relative. GiantX took one earlier on, and as you say, Rob, don't think Dragon stacking is really going to be the name of the game this match. Towers out once, but they can definitely take the tier 2 in mid. The Root Caller lands into the Magnus Storm, and here comes the hero. He's fresh for the fight. GiantX forced away. Jackie's ticking to the ignite. Equalizer down. Jackie's just about survives on the backline, but G2 will use the pressure in mid to open up the base.
It's GiantX immediately forced to retreat to the safety of their fountain. 21 minutes in, and G2 will crack the base of GiantX. It's a 10k gold lead.
Fantastic in the meta at the moment, as that's currently what we see a lot of, his 3 carries, and G2 playing very well around it. Now Broken Blade pushing in, gets that top lane turret.
Two are calling GiantX to the battle. They have a control ward in, but immediately Ignat pays the price for putting it down. Mom is not going to be able to save you from this situation, GiantX. G2 take the Baron, they'll take the kill. And Ignat back up to bolster the defenses, but even his contributions don't do much in the face of G2, who continue to march forward. Nature's Glass coming out, Mickey tanks it, Caps takes a shot as well, but buffers out his jump. The hero's entrance from Broken Blade will separate the 2 teams. Ignat forced to dance away, Broken Blade flashes and lands a 2-man taunt. Patrick has to flash away, Caps jumps forward once again with that rocket leap, but can't find purchase on the fight. Instead, they find purchase on the inhib, and that will fall. Top and mid now down. The Baron remains for 2 minutes time, and G2 are looking to end the series right here, right now. The first Nexus tower is laid to ruins. Broken Blade almost the same. The Trigger C just in time to save his life. Will G2 continue to advance? Will GiantX find a way to win out the fight? No TP for Broken Blade means that likely G2 will allow GiantX to live to fight another day. Perhaps mistimed recalls here. The Twisted Advance coming out. Yike stays around. GiantX looking to collapse. Caps waits across the wall. The TP behind as well on that control ward. Hunt Summer can open up. Has that lightning crash, and Juhan's already down to half HP. The Antonio coming for the flank, and Juhan will fall first. The Antonio looking for something, but he can't find it, and the rest of his team has left him to the wolves that are G2. It looked like G2 would need to reset, but GiantX walked into their gaping maws. And now with Baron remaining for 1.5 minutes, I think it's all done.
You don't want to throw punches at a man that's walking away, and GiantX did just that, and G2 came back angry, waving top now. G2 want to make this the quickest game of the series.
The lower bracket run, a G2 speciality. Here they're looking to start it in emphatic style. GiantX, Patrick, Jackies, and Ignar left to try and find a way back in, but Mickey is having none of it. He puts them back into the fountain, and GiantX will be taking a long vacation. G2, in dominant fashion, will take the 3-0 and meet up with BDS on Friday.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just a case of trying to figure out how to work through their mid-game, and at least getting that into a decent position. I feel like this is a roster that could definitely surprise.
Yeah, I think so too. We are waiting, I believe, for a couple of moments as Ginny is going to talk to one of the G2 players. I believe it's Caps, could be Hans Summer. We can never quite be sure these days as to who it is. But yeah, Ginny just getting ready for us. It'll be good to hear from Caps as well, especially after the disappointment against MDK last week, I think, for the team. MDK played really well, but
we
the
don't
G2,
have to wait much longer.
Yeah, they always expect to win. Ginny's now standing by with Caps in the Marriott Bonvoy post-game check-in.
Thank you, guys. Caps, thank you as well for joining. Congratulations, a very dominant and convincing win here against GX. Looking at the performance that we've seen today from the team and comparing it with the series that we saw against MDK, some of the mishaps that we saw then, we didn't see any of them today. You've only had 1 week to prepare, so what did that look like?
I mean, definitely, I think we were not playing our best last week, and I think we, now that our backs are against the wall, you know, we really have to show up. I think that's where we shine, and it was a fun best of 5 today, and I'm looking forward to all the other best of 5s we get to play, because if we had one last week, we wouldn't even play this week. So definitely nice to get to go here.
So you're having a great time in these best of 5s with the pressure on top of you as well?
I mean, for sure, yeah. I think this is what you want, right? For like an esports career to really play with everything on the line, and I'm just happy we can be here.
It looks like you guys are genuinely thriving under the pressure. I mean, it sounds like you're having fun. Question is, do you think the fans are having fun with the amount of nerves that you're putting them through as well? Because you are in this lower bracket, right? If you do lose, you will be out.
Yeah, for sure. I think I think a lot of fans are quite scared. I think especially last week was definitely, I mean, actually not even just last week, but also the finals and the semifinals from last split. I think we have had a lot of you know, back and forth games, which makes it a lot of fun to play and watch maybe, but also definitely quite scary. So we'll clean it up a little bit, but not enough that it gets boring, right?
Okay, so you got to keep the content in there. When you're talking
no
about
problem.
cleaning it up. Hey, you know what? They're loving this. I guess they're not too worried about those heartbeat monitors. When it comes to cleaning it up, though, in the couple of games you have left, obviously you're playing against BDS next week. It's also going to be a best of 5. What does that cleaning up look like to you?
I mean, I definitely think we are playing more as a team this week. It felt like we were doing less solo plays, and I think a lot of the solo plays were maybe going wrong last week. And I also think we're getting a bit more comfortable with the meta. I think last week we were trying a lot of things, and it was maybe some champions that we didn't necessarily have that many games on. And of course, with Mad Lions also playing some unorthodox strategies, it became a bit out of our comfort zone. But I think this time around there was a lot more things we have played before, and also some the same strategies from our opponents. So yeah, definitely helps making us more comfortable.
It does, because we saw that comfortability today. And I want to talk about the meta, particularly Galio top lane into Rumble. This was something that, if we throw back to MSI, was something we were expecting to see a lot, but we didn't. So what was the Galio pick into?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the Galio was quite strong this game. They had like a lot of dive champions, right? Like they were trying to go really deep with the Rakanna and Kai'Sa and stuff, and the Galio was able to peel them off quite well. So definitely quite a strong Galio pick, and I'm happy BB had a good game on it.
He did, indeed. And he's also on the other side with PGL, with Laura and Aragon. Anything you want to say to him?
I'm going to say good job on the series today, but don't get too cocky.
Okay, well, I'm sure you're going to take it into consideration. And Laura, please do take it away.
Thank you so much, Ginny. Having broken blade in PGL and don't get too cocky. I'm not sure this one's going to work. Congratulations, Vivi.
Thank you. I'm usually never cocky.
No.
Thank you very much.
No. Then, well, thank you for coming back as G2, honestly, with the series you had last week. But we're going to touch on this one a bit later. Any expectations you had coming in today with GX?
Honestly, I mean, for us, it was really important that we show a good performance after what we have shown in the Mad Lions series, and I'm very happy with how we played today. I feel like most of the games were pretty good, pretty clean, we were pretty far ahead most of the time.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with today.
Yeah. Aragon, I called you out on coping hard at the beginning of the day. I would like to apologize on that.
My take was that last week you guys had the lower bracket to fall back on. So you were really trying something you had tested. Coming up to, you know how it's all AD carries, and the counter to that, in theory, is dive and set up, you know, with a Nocturne and a Vi. But you kept doing it, even though you kept struggling and losing and what have you. Was that the reason? Were you experimenting because you knew you had something to fall back on? I
mean, basically, we had a plan, right, obviously. Yeah. And the plan was working quite well in practice. Yeah. And then on stage, sometimes it's just like you get hit with something that is like unexpected, especially from a team like Mad Lions. Yeah. I think Mervin, that series was very good. You know, like I think some of his picks were a bit questionable, like the Lulu top. Yeah. But I think the rest of the champions he picked was good. I think the Nidalee was a bit questionable. He did play very well on it though, so I was not expecting that. But he played very well. I think next time I will meet him, it won't be the same. This will be the only time it will be like that. Yeah. But yeah, it didn't work. This time Sorry. Yeah, no, sorry. I'm just super excited to talk to you. Like, top lane, it feels like a wasteland right now. Like, what is going on with it? You see, like, Nasus over in the LPL LEC a lot. You see 80 carries, absolutely any pick. What is going on there? Do you think it's going to get even deeper? Are you going to pick up some of the Nasuses? And
is everything meta or is nothing meta and you can just have fun?
I feel like top lane is awful right now.
Yeah, it feels fun to watch. Is it bad for you? That's a lot of questions.
I mean, for me, it's usually always fun to play different kinds of champions, but also, like, in the first game, they banned 3 top laners as well. Yeah. I was, like, not expecting that. So I just, you know, went to K'Sante. Yeah. Everyone knows K'Sante.
Sadly, we do.
But then I got to play Yone and Galio, which is not very normal picks as well for top lane nowadays. I mean, especially Galio. So I was actually very, very happy playing these champions today.
It's funny that Galio comes up now because if I remember correctly, and tell me if I'm wrong, it was one of the champions we expected to see at